What's up? Welcome to week 2 in our no filter study, and I am dressed up as a McDonald's French fry. You're welcome. Here's the question: why am I dressed up as a McDonald's French fry? So this was a big week for our family. Our boys decided this thing kind of gets in the way. Sorry. Our boys decided what they wanted to be for Halloween this week. So my boys came to me. Tripp has decided he wants to be an astronaut. Graham wants to be Kion. And Brant wants to be a fireman again for the second year. I don't know. So here's the thing about Halloween. There's something that happens every year at Halloween. There's a couple things, but one is there's this thing that happens every year as you're walking around and you run into people, and they're dressed up in these ridiculous outfits. Thankfully, mine's pretty simple. But there's this thing that happens. You run into people, and they're in their outfits, and you go, who are you? And they tell you, I'm Kion from Lion Guard. So here's the thing. If you have never seen Lion Guard, you have no idea who Kion is. If you've seen Lion Guard, which is my boy's favorite show, you know exactly who Kion is and why Graham would want to be dressed up as Kion. There's this thing about the characters that we dress up as. If we know the story, we know the character and we know who they are. If we don't know the story, we don't know the character, we don't know who they are. Halloween is kind of this outward expression of what a lot of us do on the inside. We try on these characters to see if we like the story, to see if the story fits. And so every year sometimes we try on different characters. Some years maybe we're going to be an athlete, maybe we're going to be popular, maybe we're going to be into music, and we try on these characters and we try on the bigger story to see if we like who we are and how we live in that story. A couple weeks ago I was driving around and I was listening on the radio, and this person started talking about their identity, and they were talking about how a couple years ago they woke up one morning and realized they were different than who they thought they were. That their identity had changed just all of a sudden. And as they figured that out, everything in their life changed. And it was a heartbreaking story because as their identity changed, everything else. They had to say goodbye to all these people, and just like everything changed. But here was the thing that stood out to me and was so sad, is that at the end they said, and you know what? I never know if I'm going to wake up in the morning and who I am is going to be different. I could always change. It could always be different. And I was thinking about that, and I thought that is so different than the story that Jesus invites us into. The story of Jesus, that we as Jesus believers, Jesus people, Jesus followers, people who have said, I believe that Jesus is Lord. We wake up every day in the same story. We wake up every day knowing that Jesus is Lord. And we are his sons and his daughters. There's this really cool quote, if you're following along with us in the No Filter study. This week, week 2, day 4, there's this really cool quote by this guy named Craig Lounsbrough. He says, I am made in the image of God. Therefore, if I don't know God, I can't know me. I am made in the image of God. Therefore, if I don't know God, I can't know me. This week in your Trek groups, as you are thinking about identity and who we are and how we figure out who we are, what Jesus has to do with our identity, I want you to continue to wrestle with, what does Jesus have to do with who I am? How does the story of Jesus, how does the person, the real historical person of Jesus, impact how I see myself and who I am and my purpose and what I see when I look in that mirror? I'm made in the image of God. Therefore, I cannot know who I am until I know him. Blessings to y'all in your Trek groups this week. Love y'all. We'll see you next week.